Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're keeping safe. So today we're going to be doing a quick tutorial that was actually requested by a subscriber of mine, TLK here. So he dropped a comment on my previous tutorial, one of my previous tutorials, how to animate a simple run cycle in 3ds Max. But in that tutorial I used biped skeleton. Yeah, he's saying he wants to learn how to do it with a cartridge because his project uses a cartridge. I'm gonna do a quick explanation of the cartridge. So the cartridge, to create a cartridge is actually quite straightforward. You just come to the create panel, then you click on the helpers, just click on the drop down and select cat objects. Then under that you see cat parents. So you click on cat parents, then you select whatever template you want. Actually there are other means of creating like bones. You set it up yourself. So you can actually create it from scratch if you want. So let's get started. So I created this, I'm using the game character, the game char. I just click and drag in the viewport, then it creates the cartridge. So I'll delete this. So let's get back to what we're up to. Then I'm going to be using the same reference I used in the previous tutorial, so which is the Ninja Run reference. So just stick with me. And so to create an animation with the cartridge, I'll select the cartridge. Let's say the pelvis, for instance. I'll come to the motion panel. Then I'll make sure I set this up to, right now it's just on the setup mode where you can actually adjust the skeleton. So if I move, let's say, let me move a part of the skeleton. You see what I'm saying? It's actually stretchy at this point, but the moment I click on this, ABS right here, that's the absolute layer. So I need to create an absolute layer. So I'll do that, then it creates this layer. So once the layer is created, I'll click on this red button. You know, before that, I couldn't click on it. Let me just delete this layer. So you said I couldn't click on it. I can't click on it. So the moment I create a layer as the animation layer, then I'll just click on it. I'll set it up to animation mode. So now it's on the animation mode. So with the animation mode, even if you move the hand, it won't stretch anymore because it's no longer in the setup mode. So now let's start posting our character to the different run cycle. So we can create a run cycle. So first, the cartridge actually comes with all these control objects, so it makes it easier to animate. Yep. So let's get started. So the first frame, yeah, the first frame, that's frame 0. I'm gonna post my character. So I'll turn on auto key, or you press N on your keyboard to do that. So I'll just rotate the pelvis like this. I'll rotate the pelvis like this, just like the way the ninja is running. If you've seen Naruto and all those animations, you know what I'm talking about. So select the head, rotate this as well. So just follow the steps. It's actually quite basic, but it's fun. Let's get it. Okay, so I'll move the leg like this. So it's just about, so you might have another reference to use, but we're sticking to this for now. So in the last video, I forgot to attach the reference. So this time I'll make sure I had a reference so it's easier for you to work with. So I'll move the hands as well. Select both at the same time, rotate them because they have to be straight like this. Select this the forearm, rotate that as well so it's straight now. So this foot needs to go back a bit. Then select the pelvis to make it bend because it's actually a passing position. Okay, like this. Okay, I think I'll just okay, so we're fine. So this is the first frame, but I need to work on the balance. So I'll move the pelvis back so it doesn't seem as if the character wants to fall off. So I'll move the pelvis back because weight actually very important in animation, so quite important. So I'll move this back. Then yeah, the heel has to go up a bit, show that it's actually moving into motion. So I'll select the control object again. I'll move this back. So we can always tighten the poses later on, but let's get the overall pose. So I'll select all the character. I'll just click on set key. So I'll set everything so it doesn't miss none of the parts miss a keyframe. So I'll select everything like this. Click set key. So I've created that pose. So we'll move to frame 15. We still need to tighten this up, adjust the timing later on, because timing and spacing is key. So but for now we're sticking to 15 frames apart. So switch it to 5, we switch it to 10, depending on how fast we want the run to be. But usually a run we should do 10. So let's just stick to 10 then. So I'll move to the next frame. So the next frame, this leg, this particular one, it jumps forward like this to the chest, straight with the chest. Then the feet is straight, like vertically straight. I'll move this down a bit like this. So this leg, this one, the one at the back, let it go to the back extremely. Then we adjust the heel again, because like I said, it's trying to. Okay, good. So select the control object. Don't forget to always select control object. So we went from this to this like this. So I'll do what I did before again. I'll select everything, set key, boom. If you notice that I didn't touch the hand at all, because I'm actually supposed to rotate the hand this way. Let me just do that right now. Rotate it this way, because that's the way these ninjas run. I watched a YouTube tutorial. I think science about run this particular run style. Or maybe it's actually faster than running with your hands moving forward. The tutorial was quite good. I think it's because science. Yeah, you should check out the YouTube channel. The guy does a lot of scientific discoveries and experimentations. So the first 2 frames are done. So I'll move to the next frame. So which in this frame, this leg is trying to drop back to the ground. So I need to rotate this way. Rotate it like this. Then this one has moved up a bit. So we need to move this one up. So this leg actually, once you see the reference, is actually supposed to be straight. So I'll adjust the heel. So make it return it back to where it was, like this. Then I need to go back to this control object. Then yeah, this way. So we need to make this leg look this way. Yeah, exactly this way. So we went from this to this. You get this to this. So first, always take note of that. So we select everything. Make sure you're always carrying all your objects along. So this pose is saved this way. So like this. Then go to frame 30. Now this leg will drop down like this. Just make it very straight and extreme. Then this, select this, and this one is coming back up. So we need to make sure the feet is actually horizontally straight like this, with the back, with the pelvis like this, something like this. Because you know those ninja runs are actually quite extreme like this. Yeah. So I'll select everything again. I press the set key. Boom. Then frame 40. The leg drops down again. This one is now going back. So if you notice, we've not animated the up and down movements as well. We're gonna get to that pretty soon. So we have this here. Then we'll adjust the heel like this. So I still need to move the control object back. Then remove this leg, rotate it. It's no longer as extreme as it used to be because it's actually in constant motion. So I'll move this down like this, so it just collides with this a little bit, and that's fine. And you see what we have now. Boom. think I need to adjust this a little bit. It's too much. Boom. So you can actually use the reference from the previous video. You can just play the video, the previous tutorial. You can use that as a reference. Actually, I forgot to mention that. Boom. So like this. So we're just animating the legs for now. Boom. So frame 50, this leg now goes back, all the way back. Oh, sorry, I didn't pick the control object. Always take note, pick the control object. Then I need to animate, rotate the heel like this. So once I rotate it, it gives me an opportunity to be able to move it back again. Just need to understand how these bones work. Then this, I would move this way, because this leg would look like this. So we'll move it forward, like it's about to touch the ground. So just a little bit, touch the ground just a little bit, like this. So we'll move it, we'll rotate it slightly, like so. Yeah. So we have this. Boom, boom. So frame 50. Now we'll move to 60. Then we go back, more like we're going back to, we started with this frame initially, on this frame. Now we're going back to this frame. Now we are here, which is this frame. We're here. So now we're going back to this. So just move this forward, then rotate the leg like this. Move this forward. Still rotate the feet, yeah. And make sure the thigh is actually straight and aligned with the with the stomach or the chest, whatever. Then this, pick this leg. Don't forget the heel. Make it straight, like make it flat rather. So I'll rotate this and bring it way up like this, like this. So we'll adjust every other thing later on. So move, then go to this, where this leg lands on the ground. Lands on the ground. This one goes way up, back to that frame. You need to make sure it's straight. Yeah, like this. So I want to check if this is tight enough. Yeah, something like this is fine. So okay, so select everything. Don't skip that. Always remember to make sure you select all the bones and you keyframe them, so you don't skip that process. Okay, so lastly, and that should be the last frame. So let me tighten this. So I hold my control and my alt key while I use my right mouse button and drag to close this thing up, to close the keyframe. So I'll stop at frame 70. So by the time I play the animation, it's quite slow, but it loops properly. So now we know we need to adjust. We know what we need to adjust. So whenever I'm creating a loop, one thing I always keep in mind is that the first frame and the last frame has to be the same. So this frame, okay, so like I said, the first frame and the last frame has to be the same. So what I'll do is I'll come back to the very first frame, because if you notice, after we have this particular frame here, which is on this frame, the next frame is this, which is similar to what we had here. and this leg was on that's the left leg was on the ground, so it has to be the left leg on the ground again. Don't miss that. Always take note of which leg is on the ground, which leg is below, which leg is up. So I'll take this first frame, I'll just drag to select the keyframe, then I'll drag. That's after you must have selected all your bones in the scene. So I'll just hold my shift key, click and drag to frame 80. So now when I play this animation, it should loop correctly. You can see that. So now the only thing we need to do is we need to adjust the timing and the spacing. So I'll select all the keyframes. This is something that is something that doesn't usually show by default. I'll select all the keyframes. By default, you might not see these keyframe handles. So I right click, configure. This is actually where you turn it on. You can turn it off. You can turn it off. Right click again, then you can turn it back on. So I usually leave it on whenever I configure 3ds Max. So I'm gonna set this to let's say, so once I select everything, this angle right here, the last one, you can click and drag it and adjust the timing of your animation, which is quite easy and intuitive, or I would like, which is quite good. Makes work a lot easier in 3ds Max. So drag it to 40, then we readjust our timeline so that the animation can look properly. So to do that, I already showed you how to use the shift, the control and the alt key with the right mouse button to adjust it. But I'm gonna click on this time configuration button here. This is another method to do it. You can actually come here in the end time, you set it to 40 and click OK. Boom. So by the time I play it now, the animation should be a lot faster than what we had before. You can see this now. So now let's quickly work on the up and down motion. So when is in this position, is actually in the down motion. So I'll select the which is the pelvis. Although in my reference, the up and down motion is actually quite very subtle. It's not that obvious, but the hand motion is quite obvious. So what I'll do is I'll just adjust this a little bit. So pay attention to this. So we're gonna move this. Let's move this up. Let's make sure this. Let's make this the up motion. Don't forget the balance. So yeah, you should go way up. Yeah, this is actually the up motion. This is the passing. So the passing is usually lower, a little bit lower than the up. So then this motion, obviously, it goes way up. So to adjust it and adjust the leg as well, I'll select this, the two control for the leg, then the pelvis. I just move this up, boom, like that. So let me go to my left view so we can, okay, like this. So did this. So here, then here it comes down a little bit. So select the pelvis, not the leg controls, the pelvis, just a little bit. Then this down motion, obviously down, a little bit back, yeah, again. So you select both leg controls on this frame, move it back like this, a little bit. So down motion. So now if we play the animation, so I want to make sure the up motion on the first frame and the last frame is correct. That's why I didn't touch it at all. So I'll come here, I just click the pelvis and drag it while holding my shift key, and I'll drop it here. So it's only the pelvis that would the animation properties for the pelvis that we copied, not the other bones. So once I play again, you can see what we have now. So now let's animate the hand. So it just moves up and down a little bit. So it's just not so static. Now it looks very annoying. It's just there, not doing much. So I'll select both hands So first I just need to adjust animate the rotation for both hands. So move this down here. Rotate this one because it jumped up, so his hand. So if it was down before, then once it moves up, just create that yeah, movement. So here you can say let it come down a little bit, obviously up. Just make it very subtle, not too obvious, so it doesn't look like you're trying to do too much and too many information going around. So here again, I'm going to select on the frame 0, select the keyframe, hold shift, make sure it's the same thing with the one on frame 40. So let's play that again. So yeah, which are the palm. I'm going to animate the palm a bit. So we're going to make the palm like jittery a little bit. So I'm going to move this down like this, because usually these ones are actually very straight. So I'll do the same for, and this is why I work a lot with biped. These tools actually have their own advantages and disadvantages. So you might work with these and you might not really feel it as much as you feel using a biped. So moves up, then select those again, straighten them. Like this. So let me zoom out, see what we have for now. Okay, I don't like that, it's too fast. So I'll delete this keyframe right here. I'll delete this as well. So currently I need to copy the keyframe like we did for the other parts of the very first frame and drop it here. Boom. Then that jitter that we saw earlier won't be there anymore. So from this frame to this frame is actually quite close, so I'll just delete that. Drop this in the middle. Okay, so now let's adjust the rib cage to just move a little bit. To avoid, I won't just touch. So I'll just move it with the up and down motion. Move this up a little bit. So I think the animation is still quite slow, so we need to adjust it maybe 30 frames. So select this, pick all these keyframes, and adjust it to 30. Then we can play now. So this is a quick tutorial. This is actually quite quick. We didn't do a lot of polish on it, just some basic explanation on how to animate a basic long cycle in 3ds Max, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you can take this from this point, and I hope you can take it to a bigger something more polished, something more more carefully thought of. Yeah, so I guess I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Make sure you share this tutorial with friends you think might need it, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any more questions, you can drop it in the comment section. And yeah, this is just a quick blocking anyway, so make sure you put it to practice and you push it further.